Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawashai, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawashai, Brakatahawa, Brakatahawashai, the water above, called Kadash. I'd like to give them honors to the elders, apostles, great millstones, that have taught us this truth with their breakdowns, the 100% truth. And I want to read these precepts real quick. For though the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. For lo, thy enemies have tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. That's the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2. We're going to read through 3, 4, and 5. But first I want to speak on what's going on in the world, mainly in Babylon the Great, because you have, I guess, a lot of the Northern Kingdom, a lot of them, they vote Republican. A lot of them have came over here to Babylon the Great, thinking that delineating from the Southern Kingdom tribes, try to side with Esau, Edom. And if you live in any states where a lot of the Northern Kingdom reside, you notice there's a lot of delineation, where they try to, they take up more racial practices of these Edomites than the damn Edomites do. Like you go down to Miami, Florida, Tampa, over there in certain parts of California, especially the southern part of California, certain parts of Texas, some parts up north, they get over here and they think that by them siding with the devil, that the devil is going to go lean in on them. Let's keep all the focus on the Southern Kingdom tribes. They're, especially Judah, they're the most oppressed. So let's just keep the focus and we'll jump in and pile on. Well, that concept is failing because now DJ Trump is in the office and he said, hell, we've drawn a line where you at. It's all about bringing it back to that 1921 spirit, where we're going to make America great again, where it's just all about, white superiority. And so they find themselves now on the outside looking in. They left the house and got locked out of the house, so to speak. And even though they're our brethren, the Northern Kingdom tribes, but they catching the hell that they projected, man. They accepted this. And it's all really a teaching lesson because we know Esau Edom breaks all his treaties, man. He's definitely known for always breaking his treaties. And that's nothing new. Goes back to when they came over here, first came to the Americas, what they did to the tribes, man. They broke every treaty that they made. And what makes you think that they're going to change the pattern today, He has a concept. Once he uses tools, he discards them. But I was watching some of the content where people putting out and they talking about it, a lot of Jakes are like, this is ours. We sitting on the sideline, we should have listened, and a lot, it makes a lot of sense, Jake been catching hell since they've been over here. The Southern Kingdom tribes, they always been oppressed. But they think that because a Republican got in office, it's karma coming back. But they don't realize it was all a play from the beginning from the Democrats. So don't think that, you pumping your chest because the Northern Kingdom tribes is catching hell right now. And, they can't mess with us. They should have voted Democrat. They should have voted Democrat. Should have voted for Kamala Harris, which, that's another story in itself, man. But Jake just don't see it, Jake will always play one side or the other. And you don't realize that he's the main target, man. You're the real food that everybody's looking at. And not just the Northern Kingdom tribes, but the Southern Kingdom. The Southern Kingdom, you're the main ones, Don't think that once he finishes the Northern Kingdom, he's definitely coming after the Southern Kingdom. So this is all part of the play that the Democrats set up for this to happen. They brought these immigrants over here, or these migrants, which a lot of them were Northern Kingdom, but a lot of them were these other countries, these other nations. You had a lot of Moabs came over, a lot of Chinese, a lot of Africans, a lot of Arabs. They're not concentrating their focus on them. They're concentrating their focus on you, Jakes, man. And you just don't get it, man. We try to warn you, we try to tell you, but you just don't want to believe because you still trust in the system that's not for you. Let me continue to read more precepts on this. For lo, thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, this is verse 4, they have said, let us cut them off from being a nation. The name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance. And Jake don't think they're Israelites. You can preach to them, till you're blue in the face, man, and Jake don't want to hear it. Jake is okay with being a second or third class citizen. As long as Esau Edom makes it a little bit comfortable for him, not realizing that you are the royalty, you are the true people of the Lord that the Bible's been speaking of. So it's just a crazy game, and Jake is just caught up in the middle between the plebeians and the patricians, Democrat, Republicans, the whole time. They know who you are. They know you are the chosen people, man. And they just kind of keep you in this conundrum, man, to keep you focus off what you really need to be focused on, man, is on your power, man, the power that you have, on high. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. And that's all these nations. They know who you are. Everybody know who you are, but you, Jake, you don't even consider. For the tabernacle, this verse 6, for the tabernacles of Edom and Ishmaelites, Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebel, Ammon, Amalek, Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, they all know who you are, man. They all confederate against you. This goes all the way back to the time of Moses, man. When we were taken out of Egypt, through that miraculous recovery mission. And all these nations knew that we were a special people. Everybody but you, Jakes, man. After that, you started following these other nations again, and once again disobeying the Lord, man. And now you find yourself in the same position you always been in, being a slave to these other nations, and got you fighting against one another. But which your main focus should be on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Because Jake don't think he has enemies. He look at his brothers being enemies. And one thing about these elite, the 1% on top, they always keep these layered positions of positions of what's the word I'm trying to say? They do it in layers of hierarchy, to keep the focus off the 1% who really are kings of the earth that control everything. And they're in a position that you, Jakes, is supposed to be in, that 1%. They're in a position that we're supposed to be in, but like I said, we went against Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, and so now we're going through our punishment, which we almost at the end of it. Lord has broken the seal, so he's revealed his book unto us to bring us back into our remembrance of who we are, man. We are a special chosen people. We were a regal people. Not to be divided amongst each other and try to take the scraps of Esau Edom to fight amongst each other, man. What I was trying to say earlier is like a caste system, to keep the focus off keep us fighting amongst ourselves at the bottom while they take all the spoils, man. But it's a beautiful time to be in because we see these prophecies being revealed and unfolded, man. You see these Northern Kingdom tribes, they catching hell now. They seeing what the Southern Kingdom tribes are trying to warn them for the longest, man. These devils are not to be trusted. A lot of us been trying to warn them. But, like I say, we have a lot of the Southern Kingdom tribes, too, that still believe in the Democrat Party's going to save them. They think that when Donald Trump time is up, that they're going to vote a Democrat back in there, and he's going to reverse everything, and he's going to make everything all right again. Niggas love to be on the plantation, man. They don't want to be nowhere but up under their oppressors, man. They'll take it anywhere they can take it as long as he give them a few items, just enough to survive. Jake is okay with his captivity. But Lord said, no, don't be happy with your captivity, man. It's time to come out of it. We done served our punishment. A lot of Jakes, when you have somebody that's been in prison for so long, they become institutionalized, man. And that's Jake, man. People are very institutionalized in the captivity, so they prefer to remain behind the bars locked in versus coming out and being free. Jake don't want to be freed, man. But let me find another precept real quick that I want to speak on. But yeah, Northern Kingdom tribes is catching it now. It usually starts off with the Northern Kingdom and it's going to end up with the Southern Kingdom. We see right now civil wars right now on the table. That's one of the things that a lot of people are talking about, civil unrest. But we're going to stay out of it, man, those of us in this truth, because it's not our fight. You know, let Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah do what he's supposed to do. Get the hell out of the way. Just do whatever he's required of you to do. You know, don't get caught up in all that shit that's going on, all the shenanigans that's going around. Let me see. Shalaki from a voice, huh? Going up and down. Right now, it's probably hard to understand. But we're blessed, man. We have the Holy Spirit on our side, man, to guide us in these times that we're in. So people out here fighting over the teach, you know, the little gifts that Esau Edom allowed them to have, you know, for their hard work. But we about to go home, man. Our rest is almost here. So we just have to endure for a season, man. We ain't got too much longer. We at the end of this thing. We in overtime. We at the overtime stage, so it's not time to go to sleep, man. Keep that TV on. Watching all these things unfold, you know, Isaiah chapter 4:1, 7 women shall take hold of one man. We see that unfolding right before our eyes, because a lot of these women are finding themselves, you know, in a hard, tough situation, man. You know, they was giving them everything all at one time, you know, just not requiring anything back. You know, a lot of women were out here so-called striving, so they think, you know, not needing a man, you know, not needing the man of the Lord. You know, they was living a free, carefree lifestyle. But now it's all that's coming back to bite them, man, because Esau Edom was pulling back all his gifts that he allowed them to have. The Section 8 vouchers, the EBT, the Medicaid, all those things, man. He's pulling back. And Eve is finding out, just like the Northern Kingdom, that Esau was never their friend, man. He's always been their enemy. Everything he's done was always to undermine you. Micah chapter 7, verse 10. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God, Yahweh? Mine eyes shall behold her, and now shall she be trodden down as the mire in the street, and as the mire in the streets, and the same as the Northern Kingdom. You can say the same thing for them. This goes with them as well. They start to realize that Esau Edom is the enemy, which we've been, you know, a lot of the Southern Kingdom tribes been trying to warn them. Shame shall cover them. Right now they're online, you know, a lot of online begging for Judah, you know, to help them out. And a lot of Judah said, nah, man, you put yourself in this, you dug this trap for us, and now you're being caught in it. That same trap you set for us it's going to be your downfall. And a lot of them, you know, when they Democrats released them to come over here, a lot of them were brought over here for judgment, man. And right now they're receiving their judgment. But that was pretty much it, man. I'm gonna kind of hit that point. Like I said, I was watching, you know, where, you know, you see the Northern Kingdom starting to realize that, you know, they were being used the whole time, man. because they don't have, when they brought them over here, they used them to institute these racist ideologies because they can sit back on the sideline and let them do it, you know. Not realizing the whole time that they were being used, and eventually once they've been used up, he's going to discard them. Because right now, he going all in because he knows his time is running short. He don't give a fuck about none of you tribes, man. He don't even give a fuck about his own people. You know, it's just the ruling elites at the top at the end of the day. But Lord will, man, it's less edifying with that. Say shalom.